Round and round, the managerial merry-go-round goes. Manchester United, Liverpool, possibly Chelsea, Bayern Munich. Who is looking for a new manager this summer? There are quite a few. And there is now a bit of a mad rush, according to reports from ESPN today. I've done some digging, I've done some asking, I've found out what information I possibly can. I'm going to get into what is happening right now and why INEOS are in a little tricky spot in terms of making a decision rather quickly, and probably going to have to jump a little bit sooner than first thought with everything going on with other clubs as well. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam. Welcome along to the show, everybody. Hope you're doing well. If you are in the live chat right now, get your comments in. As always, make sure you please give the video a like and hit that subscribe button if you're tuning in for the first time. If you're playing catch up later, don't forget, give the video a like. And obviously get your comment in below. I want to know what you think about what is going on with United and the managerial merry-go-round, which is going on right now. I've put a tweet out there, which has gone out from Mark Ogden today, which reads along the lines of Manchester United are now drawing up a contingency plan for the possible exit of Ten Hag this summer. Options are being explored to gauge the credentials and availability of possible replacements. Now, straight away within this article, you might have read it already. There's been some extracts been put out on social media already. I know Mark well. I've spoken to him quite a few times. I've interviewed him, and he is and does have some close ties in Manchester United. He knows quite a few people in there. And he is saying that Manchester United are monitoring quite a few people, as in what he said in that tweet right there, the credentials of certain candidates and who is the right fit for Manchester United. Right fit for Manchester United. Apparently, we are looking also at, if the main targets don't come off, now a new name in the hat, who is Thomas Frank from Brentford. Not seen, according to Mark, as the number one target or favourite as such. He is down the pecking order, but he is being looked at and is an option for Manchester United going into the summer. But don't get too excited about that. That definitely isn't one that's going to do much moving unless other pieces on the chessboard, which is this summer's merry-go-round with managers, start to move beforehand. So you're thinking here, like, if a rook moves or a bishop moves, I'm just quoting chess pieces here, by the way, the pawns are all just scattering everywhere and the main players are coming to the fore right now. So the problem Manchester United have got is the favourite, and according to Mark, I messaged him before, I said, Thomas Frank, he literally just replied with, they are looking into him. They are looking into quite a few. They are sort of looking towards moving Ten Hag on, but Thomas Frank came up in the conversation, and he is obviously a clear candidate, but not up the pecking order. That's where we're at with that. So I went, who is the favourite? Who do you think is, from everything that's been said, do you feel like the favourite is? They want Zerbi. That's the answer I got. Manchester United, full on, Zerbi is a favourite, but it comes down to what happens with Liverpool and Xabi Alonso. So this puts Manchester United in a spot right now where they have to make a decision quickly before Liverpool get their ship in order. Now, Liverpool's situation, everything's just primed towards finishing a fantastic season. Have United jumped ahead of them because our season is just teetering into the insignificance right now? Especially if this next 3 weeks goes completely Pete Tong for Manchester United, then we're in a position where we just are fully looking at next season, aren't we? So is this going to move a lot quicker now than what we thought? Obviously, things are going on behind the scenes that we don't know about all the time, and this could be further down the line and we actually realise. So, looking at it, you go, Zerbi right now, Manchester United's top target and favourite, according to what Mark Ogden from ESPN said. A few other people, not just Mark, have said this as well, though. In his opinion, he thinks Zerbi's favourite. But Liverpool are also in for Zerbi. It's been well written and documented that Liverpool are admirers of Zerbi and the style of football. So Manchester United really have to move very, very fast if they want a manager like Zerbi to come through. They have to make the first move. The first move, obviously, would be relinquishing Ten Hag of his duties. Now, also, when I spoke to Mark earlier on, he also said, look, there are no victims in this here. Manchester United are aware that Ten Hag has offers on the table from Germany, from clubs in Germany. So Ten Hag has got other offers right now where he could go straight away, like back into work instantly. There's a lot of moving parts around this now that are coming to light. I've seen Mark's article, I read through it. I wanted to just get some minor details off him. And he would have said this to us if he was on the show, for instance, or if we was talking to him face-to-face. I checked with him, it was okay to talk about it. He said yes. And the fact is, this is just how it works. That's how he summed it all up. This is just how the managerial situation works at the highest level. The difference this summer is you've got so many big clubs that are all going in for managers that all need a manager. So one of them is going to act. One of them is going to jump the gun as such and move very quickly and move first. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be that takes that plunge and just sets the chain reaction in terms of everyone else following suit and bringing in who is left? The report on Thomas Frank, Gareth Southgate, they're monitoring, looking, but they are not anywhere near top targets for Manchester United. They're not. Thankfully. Not in terms of Thomas Frank. That would be interesting. I'd love to get your thoughts on Thomas Frank. Is it a step too far? He has never managed at anywhere near the top level. He's always been bottom half of the table manager, the comfort zone of Brentford, and everything that organisation and that football club has. Some would say, get Thomas Frank here, bring Ivan Toney with him. Honestly, I like Thomas Frank. I think he has got something about him. He is one of them progressional managers where you would bring him in and you'd go, right, okay, we are having to drop down everything and just start a clean slate for him if he was to come to the club. I think the other candidates within the conversation are at a higher level than what Thomas Frank is. That's just my opinion. I want your opinions on that, so get in the chat as well. And obviously, if you are tuning in and catching up with the show later on, make sure you get your comments in and let me know about Thomas Frank. I want to know where you guys are at with that. We have a super chat from DJ John. Hope you're well, DJ. Hi, Adam. I'm first. Thank you, mate. Thanks for the super chat. And welcome to the members club, Santosh. That was gifted by the General Foodie, the legend of the channel. Thank you so much, General Foodie, and welcome to the members club as well. Get your comments coming in, guys. Not seen the Ollie interview yet, but been working in the office, so not being able to keep up today. Just watch it later, United Spotlight. Right now, we have to concentrate on what is going on managerially at Manchester United. Guys, it's a simple question to you right now in the chat. Like, what do you reckon to Manchester United main priority, top target as a manager to replace Eric Ten Hag being Zerbi from Brighton? Where are you at? Your initial thoughts in your head. The right move? Good enough move? I think he is. I don't know where you'd rate him alongside Ten Hag. Do you rate him better? Ten Hag has one more, but obviously different divisions. So Zerbi being top of the tree. If Liverpool are in for Zerbi, why are United not in for Zerbi? It's like when people said to me last summer, it's like, we don't want Declan Rice, he's overrated. I went, well, City or Arsenal, Liverpool, one of these clubs above us who are miles better than us is going to take him. So why are United not in for this type of player? It's the same thing again. It's like if Liverpool and their success are thinking like this is the closest we can get to Jurgen Klopp and they're going for him, then why should United not be going for Zerbi? I personally, I've had my concerns about Zerbi. I've stated them on the channel. I've said it. And I have just said, look, he's unproven for me. He really is. I mean, City are earmarking him and everyone's talking about Pep Guardiola saying he's the next best thing since sliced bread and all of this. And that's what City are going to do. And it sort of leads into the argument that I was just making regarding if City are in for him, why should United not be in for him? I don't know. I mean, I know that obviously there is ties there within our new structure and what's happening above the managerial spot, but I still feel like he's not fully. He's got potential. He has. I know he has Zerbi, and let's be honest, he's definitely got the upper hand of Ten Hag nearly every single time we've played him, and he is very, very good. He is very good. Can he make that step up? This is the big move for him. We are again the big fish that the next so-called up-and-coming manager is going to try and make his break at. We've had it with a few. You could say Ten Hag was one. You could say that David Moyes was one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was employed from within. And the other managers were obviously, we know who they are. They were well-established managers that had won a lot in the past. But again, it's the concern of this is the first big stage for this type of manager. I think it's going to be the case with anyone who comes in. With the noises and the names that are coming out, apart from the obvious German candidates in Tuchel and Nagelsmann, this is a massive step up for any of these other managers that we're talking about. George says no to Thomas Frank. He's another Eddie Howe. Dobby says, we forget that dross that Arteta and Klopp put out in their first 100 games. Eric Ten Hag, 100 games, 61 wins. Dobby, I know what you're talking about, mate. Stats are stats. I know. But what you have to look at is, on that there, you're talking about wins. You're talking about losses. You're talking about trophies. You're talking about teams that had structures in place that suited all of them managers and gave them time, or just enough time to see it through. Do you honestly see Manchester United, the amount of goals and the style of football that we're playing? You could see signs within Arteta's work, Klopp's, Pep. You could see exactly what they were trying to do. You just can't see what Ten Hag is trying to do. That's the difference. I do understand where you're going with it. I do. And every stat can be built up to build anyone's agenda. I'm not saying that's yours. I've seen them exact stats, Dobby. I know where you're going with that. Does he deserve time? The question is, really, it's Zerbi or Eric Ten Hag. Who is better right now? Who is the better manager? The most experienced manager is Eric Ten Hag. Are we just going for a fresh, clean break from this? I seen the tweet that went out earlier on as well regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that interview and something that was said. I don't know if it's true, but I didn't see that bit and I didn't talk about it earlier on. I just wanted to bring it up before I forgot. But in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game, apparently he was saying to Gary Neville that in his last game at half-time, the team talk was... whoever wants to play can play. If you don't want to play, put your hands up. And at half-time, 2 players came off that pitch. They were Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford. Now, that's done a little bit of the rounds on Twitter, that, and everyone's kicking off a little bit about that. I don't know if that was genuine or not, but a lot of people are reacting to it right now. So take that with what you want. Go and have a look at it, and we'll have a talk about that maybe later on. But I was talking about how Gary Neville set up that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer interview in perfect timing now for INEOS just about to make seriously big decisions in terms of the recruitment section that's coming into United, the CEO, directors of football, head of recruitment, and improving all of the what's the word I was looking for then? All of the development side of things, and then the manager. That's what we're talking about. So this is the next stage now. We talked earlier on about what needed to change above Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all of the misfiring and mishaps while he was a manager. He did get shafted, I think, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, by the people above him. And that interview, if that is right, and I can't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lying, if that is the case, it's embarrassing for the football club. And we really did give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer no chance. I said yesterday on the show that Eric Ten Hag has been given absolutely no chance. He hasn't. With everything that's been going on, he's not stood a chance with this squad behind him. Again, and I understand everyone's concerns. If INEOS make a move, and I'm just moving this morning's conversation into tonight's on this one because of Zerbi and the managerial conversation we're having right now. But if Manchester United were to move Eric Ten Hag on, it would simply be not because of them stats like Dobby's brought up there, which are quite they're hard hitting, aren't they? You can't ignore. It's like people say, you can never ignore the table never lies, and stats like that don't lie. He has had a very, very similar, better even, start to his tenure than Klopp and Arteta have. I think it's the style of play. So Jim Radcliffe's big speech on how Manchester United are going to play, that's 2 seasons in playing that way. What's going to make him change Ten Hag in how he's playing right now? I don't know if he's going to get the time to try and influence this team in a way where he wants to all of a sudden play a completely different way. He says we pass out from the back, we're in possession-based football. We don't see that because we're nowhere near the possession stats that we need to be. So I think it's all in to do with what Sir Jim Radcliffe said and the style of football. I reckon communications are going on behind the scene now, and Brighton do play an attractive brand of football. You cannot ignore that. That is there for everyone to see. But Ten Hag is a victim of the change, I feel, and hasn't been given a chance. Like I said last night, I don't believe he has been given a chance. We talked earlier on about the structure. I feel like this is the structure picking the style of play. I think the conversation about the style of play has already gone on. And what is key to this and why it's going to be different this summer, and if you weren't watching this morning, I'll just reiterate what I said. The audit that INEOS have taken, the problems within the club that Ralph Rangnick would have discussed, and I'm pretty certain Solskjaer has been approached as well. They would obviously approach him if they had anything about them. If they'd done Rangnick, they would have done Solskjaer. You know they would have. They are going to say exactly what we all know with these players. And then this is fully on down now on INEOS to make sure that this next manager, whether it is Ten Hag still or a new manager coming in, this next manager gets every single ounce of backing that they possibly can. Every little bit that they possibly can. If this player power situation ever comes about again, or it comes to a point where we're here now and we're discussing who is more important, the players or the manager, and everyone at the football club, all of the fans discussing every single game week what our style of play is. Can he get through to these players? I feel sorry for the player. Is it the manager or the player's fault? All of these debates, arguments, conversations going on after every single game, which are there all the time now because no one's got any idea what our tactics are and what is going on right now. And they need to be on top and right behind whoever's in that dugout. They do. It's on INEOS now, this. And this is where the pressure will come. It is. And I think, I've said this all along, looking at it from INEOS' side, changing the manager is the easiest way to start this 3-year project that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was talking about. It's the easiest way. He made it clear, without digging Ten Hag out, that Champions League football was important, massively important to the football club this season. And for me, that was like a little dig as to say, we need Champions League football. Since that interview, we've lost both Premier League games and we're now 11 points off fourth. If Bayern Munich keep going the way they're going and the Italian clubs keep going the way they're going, and we do somehow fail, the English clubs that is, in the Champions League, Europa League and the Conference League, and we don't get that cohesion and that 5th place in the Premier League for the Champions League, then we're not going to be in that. That pot of money is not going to be there for INEOS and the Glazers and Manchester United, and Ten Hag will be gone. It's looking right now, I think they're just getting ready to make the first move, personally, because I think there's going to be a time probably around about April where it's going to be mathematically impossible for United to be in the Champions League. By then we could well be out of the FA Cup. Some would say by the end of March, Ten Hag is going to be gone if results don't go his way. That being the game away at Brentford, that is a tough one. And the FA Cup the week before at home to Liverpool. If we're out the FA Cup and we lose to Brentford, I think that's it. I think that is it. I think that is the big moment for Ten Hag. MUFC with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. This is just the magic roundabout. Rinse and repeat in 2 years' time. It will be in the same place. The players need looking up first. Of course they do. I know. But like I just described then, this is why I like to add a little bit of context to what I'm talking about and why it's going to be different. It's with Murto, with Arnold, with Woodward, whoever it was in the old regimes, and we're talking about Solskjaer particularly this morning, he was right in the heart of the mess. And the description of how he lost Bellingham, how we didn't get Haaland, the Ronaldo situation, it was all of a chaotically run football club. That's going to be totally different this time. That's not going to be the same. Nowhere near the same. Because of the structure above. And INEOS are making this. So INEOS get rid of Ten Hag and don't give him a chance under them. Then don't expect there to be a rinse and repeat scenario with this next manager. They cannot afford it. They will look like the biggest laughingstock that there is if they back down on a manager now. If it does start to go wrong. It really will. I'm going to get into some of the tweets and come into the comments section in a minute. I'm just going to run through social media right now because there's a lot going on. INEOS are ready to make a decision on the Manchester United manager situation. They have in their mind what they want to do. The decision is not reactive or based on results. That's from the Muppeteers. That is what I was pretty much saying just then, which is it has to come down to the style of play. Now, Ten Hag, like the comment said from Dobby about the record and everything, that's going on with Ten Hag now, and everyone's shouting for him to be having a chance under INEOS. I feel like it's not that. I think it's Ten Hag, the style of play and what's going on with these players. They want to see more. They want to see more from this Manchester United team. I just feel like they don't feel like they're going to get it out of Ten Hag. The noises have just grown and grown and grown this week. I think we're coming to a head with this. I really do. I feel like we are getting close to a big decision being made with United. I'm just going down into everything else that was said. We have the tweet there regarding drawing up the options from Mark Ogden about Manchester United's situation with the manager. There's a few more tweets going out as well. Fix. Yeah, there's another one there that's going in on what I just said then regarding that interview with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and the quote that came out was, I noticed Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Erik Ten Hag flagged the same financial fair play issue at Manchester United, but only one of them can fix it. Yeah, that is very, very true. Roberto De Zerbi, Thomas Frank and Gareth Southgate are being assessed as potential successors to Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United if he leaves this summer. I think we know from the noises that he is going to be leaving this summer. But going back to that first one there about noticing Ten Hag and Sir Jim Ratcliffe bringing up financial fair play, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the only one that can fix that. He is. That is true. He's the one with the money. He's the one with the balance sheet. He's the one who can get rid of players. Because we know that a manager at Manchester United, well, in the past, has had no power about getting rid of players. Ten Hag has been given a bit more power under this new regime at United. I think United over the last few years have just been desperately trying to change just so certain people can keep the jobs. Let's not forget Murto, Arnold, these people have been at the club for years and years and years. All of a sudden, we're seeing them in different roles now and trying to change the way Manchester United are. Where were you and your opinions earlier on when your jobs weren't at risk or you weren't in such a high role? All of these players as in the people in the hierarchy at United, have played their part in the demise of this football club. And all of a sudden, now their jobs are threatened. Everyone's trying to change things and look at it differently, giving Ten Hag more power, probably too much power in the way he's handled certain situations in some people's eyes. The veto that came in only under Erik Ten Hag with transfers and him getting rid of David De Gea. I'm not going to go into that one because I said David De Gea needed changing. I think it was the right time. But still, it was very strange how club and players' representatives wanted that deal done, but Ten Hag didn't. Not seen anything like that before. And then Ronaldo's situation, Erik Ten Hag was right in that one. Jadon Sancho, we're never going to know the full story, I don't think, until Jadon Sancho does come out and start talking. There I say it. Another interview from a United player or a former United player, whatever it may be. You know what it's like. We like a bit of drama, don't we, at this football club? But yeah, the merry-go-round, which is the managerial situation, has come to the fore now because I feel like Manchester United will have to act a lot quicker than the other clubs. I do. It's like no one at Liverpool, I don't think, wants to be going into managerial talk. Well, Jurgen Klopp's in his final season, the legend that is Jurgen Klopp. No one really wants to be leaking out information about possible Liverpool targets for managers right now. Everyone needs to be focused on the running, the title, and seeing Jurgen Klopp off. So no big announcement, I don't think, is going to come from there. I think United need to make the first move. You've got Bayern Munich, who don't hang around. As soon as... Actually, I don't think... The only difference, when you think about it, like the situation in Germany is that you've got Bayern and Bayer Leverkusen fighting for that title. So I don't think anything's going to be said regarding Xabi Alonso just yet. I don't think we're going to get to that stage because of the obvious disruption with them two being the ones fighting for the title. So it's like you winning the title and then all of a sudden it gets announced that Xabi Alonso is going to be going to Bayern, the team that they're facing to get to that trophy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's why we can expect it to be quiet over there. Otherwise, I think Bayern would have already made a decision. If Xabi Alonso wasn't in that title race in the Bundesliga, I think we would get a decision from Bayern Munich, and that would set everything in motion. They don't hang around Bayern Munich. They want things in motion. They want things settled and done and dusted Xabi Alonso, I don't think, would go along with that. And I don't think Leverkusen would allow him anyway. But I think United are in the perfect position right now because our season has got nothing else left. And this is why I think it's important, like these next 3 weeks. If United don't get the results, I think we're going to find out. I do. I think we're going to find out sooner than what we thought. Gary Neville was alluding to it. And I keep going back to it. Gary Neville's influence and what he knows is going on at United now that INEOS have tried to friend him up a bit. It's like he said, INEOS will have an idea and it won't come to May when they make a decision about the manager. They will know. Paul Scholes was talking the other day about Manchester United are already looking for new managers. How much Scholes knows, I don't know. I think Gary Neville would know more, but another former player saying that Manchester United have probably already made their mind up and they're bringing another manager in. All of the media are now going into overdrive this week after the derby, and it's not just because of the derby, it's because of everything else going on. And now leaks are coming out regarding who Manchester United's next manager is and who the top targets are. It's definitely not Southgate, guys, so you can settle back into your chair and sit comfortably again. It's definitely not Gareth Southgate, so don't worry. God, it would not go down. It'd go down like a lead balloon if Gareth Southgate was announced as the Manchester United manager. It really would. That would be just too much of a British core for me. And getting into your chat now on all of this, let me know your thoughts, guys. Bring anything up in the chat that you want to talk about right now regarding this managerial situation. Do you feel like Ten Hag has been harshly done to? Is it right that United act fast now? Do you feel like with all the pressure coming from other clubs looking for managers, are United going to be left short again, feeding off the scraps in such a pivotal stage of Manchester United's history and INEOS taking over? Let me know your thoughts now. Newbies says, Ten Hag already proven that he can take a team to a semi-final of the Champions League if he has the right players and they are willing to listen to him. Imagine we had 11 Ajax players from 2018's. If, buts and maybes, Newbies, I know what you're saying. I understand it, but you can't look at what happened in the past. They just hit that crest of a wave with that squad at that time, Ajax, didn't they? Everything was working absolutely perfect for him. And it just completely fell off a cliff. It really did, didn't it, with Ten Hag? And that reality of working at a big, big club that was in disarray. Louis van Gaal told him not to take the job. He took it because he was another manager that thought he was going to be able to handle Manchester United. Guys, please keep liking the video. Sorry, I got tongue twisted then. Creeping up to 200 likes. Thank you so much. Make sure you give the video a like and share and hit that subscribe button if you're tuning in for the first time. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Please make sure you download our SofaScore app as well. Scan that QR code bottom right hand corner and drop down in the description if you're unable to scan it on the QR code. Make sure that you download the app. It's free. It's brilliant. It's the best football app out there. They bring us all our stats, all our information for our shows. And on match days, they go into a league of their own. They really do. They do cover other sports as well, which, if you are interested in them, this app is definitely the one for you as well on that side. Ranked top 20 on the App Store. The United job comes with the criteria of making things work with the likes of Bruno, Rashford, etc. Till INEOS don't change that. No manager has a chance, says Sakib. Yep, true. You think Onana is still in the team if we get a new manager? I think 1 year in, someone would be looking at him and going, we still need to give him a chance. He's shown recently that he has got potential. It's just like he had a good game against Forest, he had a good game against City, and no one's complaining about him. He needs to do that for about 8 and 9 games in a row, be solid, and just be irrelevant, because that's what a goalkeeper needs to be. Come up with a big save, be concentrated and have your moment, and then just go back into the pack and no one wants to talk about you. That's what a goalkeeper needs to. If a goalkeeper's been talked about and talked about and talked about, it's usually for the wrong reasons, isn't it? So we just need him to have a very consistent spell of games. Unfortunately for him, when you've got the likes of 2 Liverpool games, Arsenal coming up, it's not going to be easy for him, is it? It isn't. Harry De Stefano says, Brighton are 9th. They have conceded 5 more goals than United. Not hot on Brighton manager, but Unai Emery. There's no chance that Emery's leaving Aston Villa. Definitely don't think so, Harry. Fred says, INEOS will only get one chance with this appointment. If they fail, the banners will be out alongside the Glazers. It could go Pete Tong. It really could. This is why this is absolutely crucial to get this appointment right. Would they get a little bit more leeway if they kept Ten Hag? They literally cannot do it, though, because of what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said. There is a 3-year plan. He wouldn't have come out in that interview and said that unless he had sat down with everyone in charge at INEOS and they had spoken about it. They had ironed out everything that they wanted to achieve in the time periods they wanted to achieve it in. He's had the backing from his INEOS team to go out and say, yes, 3 years, we can do this. He wouldn't have come out and said it otherwise. And he's got himself in a little bit. He's got himself stuck. He's backed himself into a corner now. So everyone will be fully expecting results come 2027-28 season. They expect United to be right up there, challenging. Because that's what he said we're going to do. Very, very interesting, because we've also got the conversation regarding the stadium as well. And I think that should be turned around in a 3-year period. So, yeah, expect breaking news every single day with United, I feel, from at the end of March all the way through till the start of next season and the end of the summer transfer window. That's what I would say. Do expect it to happen, because it's going to. It really is going to. Get Kimmich or Barella, maybe Onana or Zubimende. Onana from Everton keeps getting a lot of shouts from midfield. INEOS will profile the manager for the project they want. Erik Ten Hag isn't that manager, says Alien Tenno. Keep them comments coming in, guys. Definitely, Emery won't get United gig. He's lost to us twice this season. A sackable offence. Yeah. The United fan first. Southgate, Potter. Think bad now. If they get to the job, manager out. Be back in a few weeks. Any new manager is going to go through a bad season. A history habit of repeat itself. Sort of got the gist of what you said there, apart from the odd mix-up. But yeah, the fear of the 2-year fear, the 2-year syndrome. Are we going to get a manager that gets past or gets 3 years, 3 consistent years at the football club? Are we going to get that manager? It all comes down to how Manchester United are being run, I think, at the end of the day. I do believe that it only works if you've got full-on backing. And if there is any thought of Manchester United getting rid of a manager in 2 years, I think it just throws INEOS' time at the football club up into complete smoke, and everyone will be doubting them. And then we'll really see what the PR team's made of. Great channel. Hit the like button, everyone, says Michael Manning, who's been a member on the Mad 2 scheme for 2 months now. Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate messages and comments like that. Been at the gym for a few years, but my diet has been terrible. Was time to sort myself out after heavy Christmas. Okay, Stu. That must have been a comment to someone else. I thought you was having a bit of an analogy there and referencing something, but imagine Alonso leave Leverkusen, then Ten Hag get hired there and win the Champions League with Leverkusen. That would be an interesting conversation with Sir Jim. A manager going into the Leverkusen team, if they do manage to keep their core of players, is on a win-win, isn't he? Ten Hag coming to United and the disaster that we were last season, the season before, sorry, and coming in is a different ball game altogether. It is always going to be about what you guys have said in the comment section. The rinse and repeat fear factor of the 2-year period for Manchester United managers is always going to be there and lingering around. And the pressure just mounts and mounts and mounts. It does. No one thought last season, coming into this season, that Ten Hag would be at this stage right now. No one thought we would be as bad as we are. And the players are the ones to blame really for it, because they're the ones that have down tools on him and have let him down big time. But you also have to look at it from INEOS' point of view. And this is why it's different. I think Ten Hag would still be in a job next season if INEOS were in charge, by the way. I don't think the club would have budged. After all the backing they've gave Ten Hag, the only reason Ten Hag is leaving or he's being sacked this season is because of INEOS and the new project. If we'd have finished out of the Champions League in the Europa League, I think United would have held on to Ten Hag just for the fact that they wanted to be seen to be making a change or running things differently. I think they would have kept him and would have been in the Europa League. Lee has renewed his membership. Thank you very much, Lee. Welcome again. Oh, not welcome again, but thank you for staying with us, we could say. Robbie says, bring Cantona and Keane in as life coach and motivator. Even that would affect the players in the wrong way. It would. That would be like too much for this squad to handle. Like reality? Like dropping these players into the real world? Oh, heaven forbid. Not a chance. As soon as you pop that United bubble, then these players, their heads fall off. Ten Hag had to deal with Cristiano Ronaldo issue, long drawn-out takeover, Maguire captaincy, Sancho incident, Antony, Rashford, drunken nights out, 47 injuries. Anybody think the Zerbi could deal with that? No, he probably couldn't, but we'd know how he wanted to play football, Dobby. That's the question. I understand why you're going with all of these stats and building everything up. We all know about them, mate. But the problem you've got is what's happening on the pitch and what people are watching. Like I always say, it's the eye test. The football is shocking. It's miserable as hell, mate. And you can't get away from that. So what they're looking at is, a couple of months in, they can see what United are playing like. They don't want to say it. And Sir Jim didn't want to say it. He said the players have shown character and just battling it out. He knows how he wants Manchester United to play, and it's not the way we're playing at the moment. It really isn't. Tomorrow we've got a busy jam-packed day, everybody, live outside, plenty going on, so stay tuned from 12 o'clock tomorrow. We've got guests on again, and we are talking out on the go. So yeah, you know what it's like, live outside, anything can happen. It's entertainment value, definitely. Another super chat from Lee. Thank you, Lee. Hi, Adam. I always say if you sick or stick a fan in Sir Jim, you would know. Sorry, it's just gone off the screen then. You would know what we know all along. It's not really the manager, but the players and recruiting. I think he knows. I do think he knows. I think it's important that he pays attention to the fans in this as well. I keep going back to it. I always do go back to it. But the fact that they have spoken to Ralph Rangnick gives me confidence that they're not going to make the same mistakes. The man that said we needed open heart surgery. The man that was brutally honest more than anyone else. I mean, you could say Jose. But I think Ralph Rangnick, if them words from him are echoing in Sir Jim Radcliffe's, Sir David Brailsford's head right now, they're not going to make the same mistakes again. They know exactly where United went wrong at that time, and I feel like they will attack that issue full on and make sure that that doesn't happen again. And that's why I said this morning and why it's so important. It's not about the manager anymore at United. Them days have moved on. The Sir Alex Ferguson era, the manager's the most important man at the club, gone. It's about the structure and the team above the manager as much as the manager. They're in charge now of putting their reputation on whoever's going to be in that dugout at Manchester United. Dougie Freedman, Jason Wilcox, Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, all of these people, they're banking on that manager being the right one to take this team forward. They're not going to take this decision lightly at all. They need to make sure that he is on board with their vision, not the opposite way round. This is how it's going to be at United now. This is how it is at the bigger clubs. They need to stick with the philosophy and the style of play. I just feel like the fresh start works for everyone. There's new jobs all the way down. Do you think there's going to be one man that stays and that's the manager, the most important piece of all of this puzzle? Like, he has got so many careers in his hand, because everyone's going to say, oh, you changed all the structure, but look, still in the same old shit position. Nothing's changed, has it? They ain't taking that chance. They're not taking that chance unless something drastically happens now over these next few weeks for Ten Hag, and we see a complete change of football, a complete difference to Manchester United than what we're playing on the pitch. Then he's a goner. He is, sadly, because I really did think that Ten Hag was going to make it at United. I thought he was going to be the difference. He just worked differently and was completely different to all the other managers. He didn't take no messing from the players. And the players have had to work a lot harder to try and get their own way with Ten Hag. And you've seen the lengths that they've gone to and the situations that Ten Hag has been put in. Like Dobby correctly says, the shit that this man has had to deal with, Ten Hag, while he's been in charge at United, is just unparalleled to anything that any manager ever in the world of football has had to deal with. Like, there is nothing to compare to it. It has been an absolute shit show, hasn't it? It really has. And I do feel sorry for him on that side. It is unfair to judge a lot on Ten Hag. It's not all his fault. Jin says, you need to stop staying here. It's a step up. The Zerbi is currently at a club on level pegging with United. Where are we currently at? Brighton as good. No, it is a step up, mate. Sorry. Brighton to United, let's be honest, it is a step up. Forget about the league table. You're not going to get the pressure at Brighton that you are going to get at United. That's the step up, dealing with that. I think we should give Erik Ten Hag till the end of the season. If we are all still diabolical, he'll have to go. The problem is, and like I said at the top of the show, David, if we are diabolical still at the end of the season, all the other managers could have been taken. Bayern could have theirs in place. Liverpool could have a pre-contract agreement in place for their new manager. And United miss out. If I was to say to you now, you're guaranteed to get De Zerbi or the manager you want at the end of this month, or you wait just to see, and all you've got to choose from is Southgate and Potter at the end of the season, which way would you go? Would you say, would you act now? Or would you wait it out just in hope? Would you take a chance? Because this is a massive few years coming up for Manchester United. Are you willing to risk this next 2 months of football on getting the right manager? That's the question I want to ask you. Frank Davison, I don't get why these cycles happen. Sweeper, keeper, tiki-taki, etc. These are fashions. If you get the best with different ideas, they will make it work. Own identity. So Jim Radcliffe said that, Frank, in his interview. He doesn't want to go from the pragmatic Jose to the tiki-taki Pep. He doesn't want to chop and change. He wants everyone to know how United are coming and put the best people in position to get United to that position. That's what he wants. Ben Marculio. Ollie raving about McTominay and Maguire. Not sure about that. Yeah, I know. David, again, I've always thought he deserves it till the end of the season, but I fear he'll be gone before then. I agree. I don't know why, but his tactical plan this season just doesn't work. He seems to have lost an awful lot this season, Ten Hag, in whatever his philosophy was or his vision was. He seems to have lost his own way, I think. He does. I think he's confused himself half the time. Richard Clubsport, Ten Hag has no charisma. That doesn't help. He comes across so blunt, except in that chat with Dion Dublin where he seemed so different. That's because Dion was talking about bike riding before it and he just softened him up a little bit. Dion doing his proper punditry there and proper interviewing techniques, making the man comfortable before we went into the awkward stuff. What's we got here? Southgate? No, Robbie. Definitely not. Mike, Adam, if you watch the Muppeteers today, James Pretty much knows Ten Hag is gone. It's an open secret. He will be gone before the Chelsea game. I've always said I think he's going to be gone, mate. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. I just can't see how he survives. I can't. I look at every single factor in the Ten Hag situation right now. Is the games that he's got coming up. How many games can he make from that? How many points can he make from that? Absolutely everything that's involved in the rest of this season plays against Ten Hag. I do believe the writing, and the journalists know it as well. They really do. And Ten Hag has got, like we said, there are options for Ten Hag. He has got job offers in Germany, and United do know about this. That's what Mark Ogden told me before. They do know about this. Reason for no style of play equals Rashford. He doesn't follow instructions and can't be dropped. McTominay. who is a ghost, who doesn't follow instructions, plus 47 injuries so far this season. Rashford, 30 goals last season, Dobby, in apparently everyone's saying Ten Hag proved that he could actually get some out of these players. And Scott McTominay, one of our leading goal scorers this season. Is it them players? I know what you're saying, mate, but you can't just make one argument for one season and one for another. It doesn't work that way. Newbies, is there any assurance that these players are going to listen and implement the Zerbi tactic? Even Ten Hag admitted in pre-season that these players don't listen to him. Well, again, it's about if Ten Hag goes, a lot of the players go. They have to start weaning these players out. They do. I tell you right now, I'm with Dobby on this one as well. Like, if Rashford goes, everything changes at United. Everything changes at United. It is the biggest statement that the club can make. I do feel like we just need to be brutal this summer and make that very, very clear to every player coming into United. Doesn't matter how long you've been at the club. Doesn't matter how many goals you've scored for the club, how loved you are for the fans. No one is safe at Manchester United. And if we feel like it is the right time to move you on, it's time to go. See you later. I reckon if you gave Omar Barada the opportunity to sell any players, to make the best deal out of what United's situation is right now, Rashford would be on the list. It's my own opinion again. I know I'm not saying that's a definite, but I reckon he would get rid of Rashford. I do. Right, the career he's had, him not working now, the issues that he's got, if the right price came in from PSG, I reckon he jumps at it. He does. It's a big, big problem gone, and United can reinvest that money. All of that money as well, because it's 100% profit. And the most important question of the day, what sauce or sauces on a bacon butty for you? Seriously? You have to ask that question? Of course it's brown. It's a bacon butty, you need brown sauce on it. Doesn't everyone have that? Weirdos, if you're not. Mark Webb, he's got McLaren next to him. He's got his own backroom staff he brought in. He's not listening to the people around him. Maybe not. Like I said, it's bordering on what a lot of journals have said, like the delusional side of Eric Ten Hag has come out more this season, hasn't it? It really has. It's got to a stage with Eric now where it's just going to be... It's going to be hard to convince anyone that he has got what it takes. I don't know what he is going to do or what he can do. He can only start putting teams to the sword and smashing teams off the park to start convincing anyone. Even wins right now for Ten Hag, I don't think are convincing anyone. Because even through our little run, people are still complaining. I mean, at the end of the day, we're supporters and we back the team. When we get a win, we're happy. We take the positives out of everything. We've got our red-tinted glasses on, but not one opposition fan would look at Manchester United in that run that we were going on and go, I'm scared that United are back. We were nowhere near it. This season, even the games that United have won, we've been second best. It's a fact, isn't it? We haven't got enough. And there's not enough coming in our games to prove that Ten Hag has got a grip of what is going on. It's sad. It's really, really sad. Again, I'll go back to say what I said. It's Ten Hag, I thought he had something. Thought the way he was working. I was expecting this season, though, like most people, and this is where it sort of hits you. I was expecting a style of play. I was expecting this to actually be moving forward now. And it's not. It's gone backwards. And we can't afford another year of trust the process. We are getting better. Ten Hag said in his interview after City, we have improved. That is what you can't forget. Moments like that where a manager looking at that game, and we clearly watch a different game to him, and he comes out with comments like that, that's where you sort of move away from Ten Hag and go, really, mate? Like, seriously, no. I'm not having that. I am not having that. But yeah, that's where we're at with him. I do think the writing is on the wall. Well, guys, that pretty much is the end of our show. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for all of your comments, everybody. It's been a weird day, hasn't it? It's been a lot going on in different types of ways. I've managed to get through a full day without really talking too much about Rashford, which is always good. And we're a step closer to Everton this weekend. And dare I say it, a must-win game. Yes, it is. It is indeed. New members, super chats, all of your likes and your comments especially, guys. Thank you so much for getting involved in the chat. Brilliant conversation tonight. I've loved that. We got through quite a few of your comments. If you haven't and you've got something big to say and I've not read it out, get commenting on the video once it drops onto YouTube after the live stream is over. Please, guys, give the video a like on your way out. Subscribe if you are tuning in for the first time. And SofaScore, download our app. It is that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, guys. Scan it or drop in the description below. The top link there, SofaScore. It's free. It all helps the channel moving forward. It is really, really positive right now. We're moving forward. We're marching on, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support again. And it carries on tomorrow. Live outside. Stay tuned, guys. Anything can happen on the road. Until then, have a great night.